On the road, headed back to New Orleans, driving in the country past old-timey scenes. Big birds were singing in the tall willow trees, mighty fine. 3 words written on a paper bag. I miss you was written in a message in black, thrown in a van 2,000 miles back. A better time. And how many souls and times that I've told, places that I'd wanna be, and how many days when I could have stayed instead of just getting up to leave. And given we make time, I'll meet you down the line. Long coat, walking on a New York street, a pack of crushed cigarettes that fell to her feet. Well, ain't it odd how some people meet, but that's the truth. And 2 pictures buried in a guitar case, underneath the music sheets all over the place.
I tried to get everything done last night and stacked last night. Even my oldest son, Rhett, helped me for a little bit, but I just was too tired. I really never intended on having 100 bales up in here, but I'm pretty sure I can get it to fit. I'm just going to have to strategically stack the hay to get enough up high to where I can get it all to fit. But once I'm done with this, I'm done with hay. I don't have to worry about how the animals are going to be fed until next spring. So that's good. But in the meantime, I got to get all this hay stacked. The name of this song is called Teardrops, because my hands feel like crying as I'm editing this video. I first heard the term cornbread, corn-fed when we moved to Snowflake many years ago, and a friend of mine was referring to our football team in that community. Cornbread, corn-fed. Those kids that grew up in that community likely stacked hay and did other things that might get them into physical shape and help the local farmers at the same time. One summer when I was about 9 or 10 years old and my little brother would be about 6 or 7, we were staying at the family ranch and my parents turned us loose for the day. So my little brother and I found the nearest pile of hay, climbed that pile, and then we started pushing bales of hay off the top of that pile. And then at some point my dad figured out what we were doing and we got in trouble. My little brother and I were just a little bit too small to lift those 2-string bales back up on top of the pile, so my dad had to do it, and he was not happy about this. I got all the bales stacked, and if I touch another bale of hay this year, it'll be too soon. Out of the 100 bales, I only had 2 that came apart on me. So those will be the first bales we feed to the goats once we have them back down here. But we have so much feed up on the hills that it's going to be a while before we have to bring the goats back down. They've been up there for about 4 days and you can't even see them. I went up there to find them this morning to make sure they were okay. And the grass is just so tall that I had to work to find them. So they're being picky, working on the weeds that they want to work on. Now, the only time that I can ever remember my dad using the word switch was when me and my little brother pushed those hay bales off the top of that hay pile. He told us very clearly to walk down to the creek that ran along the side of the ranch house, and my little brother and I each had to choose the willow switch that my dad would use on us. So I tried to convince my little brother not to get a big stick. He was 6. He didn't get it. If I remember correctly, he got the biggest stick he could find. And if I recall correctly, I don't even think my dad used the switch on us, but he definitely wanted to send the message to us that what we did with those 2-string bales, by pushing them off the top of the pile, was not okay. My dad had to restack all of those 2-string bales, and although there weren't too many that we pushed off the top, there was enough to make him work a little bit. And little did I know that 35 years later, I would still rather push those 2-string bales off the top than to try and carry them up there and stack the hay. Stacking hay in the middle of the summer is real work. Just when I think I'm in fighting shape, I'm reminded I'm a middle-aged man. In the meantime, the original chicken coop that I built for my wife when we lived in town is going back to where it came from. I basically built the old chicken coop with wood that I found at the dump, as well as some wood siding that a friend of mine gave me. And the chicken coop was just too heavy to haul off in one piece, so I ultimately had to cut it up. And the wasps didn't help things either. The chicken coop lived a good life. It had gotten pretty rickety and worn out with all the moves around the ranch, and it was ultimately time for it to go. I came outside this morning to kind of get a jump on the siding, and I had to fix some of the staggers between the boards from last weekend when I was working on it. Obviously, I need the batten strips to line up with the upper batten strips, even though I am going to put a ribbon across there. But I have decided to spend the rest of the week getting all of the siding hung and finished. And then I'm going to spend a week on an excavator working on our property over there. I've got to get the driveway cut in, so I'm going to take Cedar over there, and we are going to look at the layout as the trees are getting more and more thinned, and make a conscious decision on how, if we end up living over there, how it looks, where we want the house to be. If we could go back and move this house, we would not put it where it's at now. But that's water under the bridge, and I'm not too worried about it. So again, I'm going to spend the rest of the week finishing all the siding. The batten strips are just shy of 3 inches wide, so the batten strips resolve all the issues there. And then once the siding is all up, I'm probably going to wait a few weeks and let the boards get a little bit, let the sun do its work on it before I throw the stain up there. But hopefully by the end of this week, all of the siding on the house is completely finished. The sun is going to go away one way or another, but I think our second daughter Cheyenne and Christian may turn this into a chicken coop. I hope you can appreciate the grace in which Rhett and I unloaded the new Dodge truck that we will turn into the plow truck using his engine and transmission out of his red truck that he wrecked over winter. So now in all my free time, I get to pull that motor out of that truck, swap it into the new truck, and get the new Dodge Cummins ready to plow snow. The truck I bought was a 2001 3/4 ton regular cab Dodge truck that had a 24 valve Cummins and a manual transmission in it, but that had been removed, so it should be a perfect candidate to swap Rhett's drivetrain into. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, we will start breaking down his old Dodge truck, and once I get it to where it's basically frame and axles and drivetrain, I'm going to fix any leaks on the engine and transmission before I reinstall it into the new body. So once this truck is rebuilt and back on the road, it will be my 4th plow truck, and what I hope to be one of the best plow trucks I've built so far. But I don't want to beat the truck up and ruin it. I know deep down that Rhett wants this truck back pretty bad, but I'm not just going to give it to him. Maybe a few years down the road, and when the time is right, I'm certain he'll get the truck back, but not today.
see where she's going, but I hope it's near. Life ain't what it seems. There's still a part of me that's trying. Come lay on my chest. You can find a little rest from hiding. Don't let this go. Don't let it fall away. Don't worry, we'll take it slow. Just don't let go. Don't let go. Daydreams falling like raindrops non-stop. Making plans, all I ever have dreamt of, falling through my hands. Life ain't what it seems. There's still a part of me that's fighting. Come lay on my chest. You can find a little rest from hiding. Don't let this go. Don't let it fall away. Don't worry, we'll take it slow. Just don't let go. Don't let go. Don't let this go. Don't let it fall away. Don't worry, we'll take it slow. Just don't let go. Just don't let go.
So I'm gonna spend the next few days working like crazy on the siding. But in the meantime, I've got the local rental excavator reserved for 5 days, and I'll pick it up Tuesday morning, and my goal is to spend as much possible time on that excavator working on the new land. Cedar and I are gonna spend some serious time over there discussing the potential location of another house and just how we would do things differently if we in fact choose to go that route.
What on earth are you doing?
This is how I get my truck presentable for my wife. Well, truthfully, the other female that rides in this truck doesn't care so much about the dog hair.
I shed, but it's a little bit longer
A little
hairs.
longer hair. Let's go!
We're working on the garden again today, so we're going to get some, we just call it hog fence from the local...
At the local farm and ranch store. Even our grocery store sells hog fence, truthfully. So I guess we can go to just about every store in town and probably get what we need. But you're trying to get a trellis for the tomatoes to crawl up. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And some green beans.
And we've got Callie and Reed. Have you guys ever even ridden have you ever even ridden in this truck?
Nope,
Cedar?
first time.
For real?
For real.
No,
All right.
I've ridden it.
Bro.
We went to like.
Dad has AC. How does that? That's kind
Oh
of
yeah,
nice.
turn it up.
Crank it up.
And I'm gonna give you guys a little ride and show you what this bad boy's made out of.
It's raining.
Everybody got seatbelts on? We got seatbelts on?
Yeah.
All right.
Still not as quite as cheap, but not bad for a Dodge.
It'll run circles around your great Jeep. The kind of stuff I do is perfect for me, and your Jeep is perfect for you.
Yep.
Today, we're all in here because we have to haul a 16-foot piece of fencing. So, okay, are you guys holding on?
One way to get the hay out of the back of your truck.
Yeah.
You didn't actually.
Is that fast enough for you?
I can't believe how quiet it is.
No.
Yeah.
Wasn't that fast.
What? Does that mean I have to do more to make it go faster?
Yes. Like
So Mom does that
two
too all the
times.
time.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I think it.
You said a Jupiter? Strike one. Something wrong with your back.
I think it's your arm. Not even close.
Bro, yours was further than mine.
It curves.
We've got Dixie back here with us again, and she brought some more plants that we're going to fill up the rest of the boxes with. And so she's just going to tell us a little bit about what she found.
Okay, the last time I was here, I told you to find the smallest plant, ones without any flowers and without any fruit, and I'm gonna break every single rule that I told you. Because we are pretty late in this season, especially with the shorter growing season here. And I was down at this nursery, and these look terrible. And we were walking through, and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna give it a try. They cost like $1.25 each. And there were 6 left, and it's just the end of their supply, and they're just trying to get rid of them. So my thought is that we're gonna plant the seeds and see how they do, but we're also gonna plant these starts and see if we can get them to go. When they're like this plant, I mean, he's totally root bound here. And we're gonna see if we can reteach him that we want him to grow bigger and up a trellis. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be really careful with his roots. I'm gonna plant him really in some nice soil with a lot of water, try to get him ready to grow, and then I'm gonna spray him on its leaves with a biostimulant. And what that does is it talks to the hormones of that plant, and it tells the plant that it's time to grow. So if this one, his hormones are like, oh, okay, this is about where we're gonna be, and I need to start, setting fruit and putting some beans on here, but it just might work. I don't know.
Okay,
This is gonna be an experiment.
Oh, this will be fun.
So this is our dill that we transplanted, and it looks like he's suffering from some shock, and these bottom leaves will go away, but this right here in the middle still looks really good.
Okay,
And get him, but this looks really good.
and this
This is oregano.
oregano
Here's your parsley.
that I got.
Remember?
Oh, Bandit. Take that.
Seriously, I'm walking there. Just kidding. This guy,
This is amazing.
I am so
We've got some
excited because
tomatoes
look what
already.
direction he's decided to go, which is exactly the way we want him to
And
crawl.
he's just gonna go up and over.
Good job, little plant.
Yes.
You're doing great.
And I didn't write down which one this one was either.
We'll figure it out when we harvest.
When it turns color. Yay, we did
You
it.
got some good soil here.
Good.
I'm a little concerned about the basil, but
It was your mixture, your concoction mixture.
yeah, it's a little.
Look at that, Jovi, but. And then we're gonna put the trellis up over these tomatoes so they can kind of vine together. And then we're gonna put another trellis up over here for these other tomatoes. So
And green beans.
oh yeah, and green beans. So that. You just
I just
kind
pulled
of
them right off. Yeah,
Okay.
but see that? That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
at all what we want to see. But we'll just kind of take our time, loosen them up a little bit so that they're not going to box themselves in and they can start really getting out and into that soil.
And what about all this dead stuff? Do we want to?
We will definitely prune all of that off.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll start them up the trellis.
Okay.
See if we can't get them in the direction we
That's
want them to
almost
go.
like when they're this big, you almost cheat because they're going to go up the trellis right away. We don't even have to wait for them to grow. Yeah, this one needs more water, I think.
I'll go a little heavy because I'm not sure how well these will germinate being a little bit older.
Okay.
We'll
Isn't
just
it
try
better
to
to
fill in.
plant too much and then
Better
just
to plant
pick?
too much and then thin them out than it is to not plant enough. For the most part, right? There's exceptions, but the rule of thumb for the most part is to go twice the depth of the seed. So if you plant them too deep, they have a hard time popping up. If you don't plant them deep enough, they just get washed away or the birds will eat them or, you know.
Okay. Totally fitting. They remind me of those stickers that you step on.
Yes.
That are like thorns.
They're
and
pokey and
they
they hurt and they like get stuck in your skin and
yes.
make you miserable for days.
That's what they remind me of.
My mom calls them bullthorns. My dad calls them goat heads.
Oh yeah, goat heads. I think that's what my family called them.
So you get onion sets. Onions actually take 2 years to grow. So from a seed, it goes to a set, but most people just get a set because they want to harvest that year. Right?
Okay.
So what you do is you just make little rows, push them in. So the root side has to go down, right? Because you want that in the soil. And then this, you don't want to push them down too far. You just kind of push them in like that. You can still kind of see it down there, and then we'll just cover them all at the same time. And you can actually, this is perfect because they're not
they're
too, yeah, they're great. You just want to very gently try to find those little roots as you dig through here. So there you go. So we're just going to gently pull these little guys out like that. And then you just go put him in the soil.
Okay. So same thing, make a line.
Same thing.
So 2 lines, is that what you said?
Yeah, let's do. And you only need 1 tablespoon per gallon, and I'm not going to need more than a gallon. So this is called Cytopower, and it's made out of a brown seaweed. And it's got a little bit of food in it, but it's mostly just this brown seaweed extract. It's really dark. You do the same amount of just a fertilizer, but it also contains all of these trace minerals. So it's got 8 other trace minerals plus nitrogen. It doesn't have the P and the K for this soil because in our area we don't, it's already in the soil, so we don't really need to supplement for it.
Okay. And because it's organic, it's totally safe for the animals. Like
Totally safe for the animals.
like Jojo likes to hang out with us, but
I always say spray it and then wait 12 hours before you harvest.
okay.
Not that it's going to hurt you, but and you spray it on the leaves enough so that it looks like it rained, right? Like you don't want to spritz it. You want it to be dripping off the leaves. I'll get your tomato plant here too. And then you just leave it for 12 hours. Don't water afterward because you don't want to wash it off, you know.
Yeah.
But you could do like really anything.
And I'm not watering because the soil's pretty good.
Really good, yeah.
Happy 4th of July if you're in this country. If you're not in this country, we still hope you have a great weekend.
I'm going to spend the rest of the weekend finishing all of the trim, or as much as I can until I run out of wood. And then on Tuesday morning, I pick up the excavator and I spend the entire week in that excavator. So I've got to get as much of the trim done as I can.
You mean all of it?
So
all of the trim?
Yeah, I'm gonna try, but I only have so much wood. But we just wanted to thank you guys for watching our videos. It means a lot to us. And again, if you're in this great country, we wish you a happy 4th. If you're not, we hope you have a great weekend. What do you say, Reed?
Have a good 4th of July. Don't blow your fingers off with fireworks too.